to 2021 already. Welcome back to work for those of you returning, and if you're not, I hope you're still having a safe and enjoyable holiday. We thought we'd give you a quick update in regards to the JobKeeper Extension 2. So that applies from today, the 4th of January, through to the 28th of March. So it's the next quarter. It is also known as JobKeeper 2.B, I think, as well. So just to keep in mind that it is another period, and you do need to show, if you're an employer, you do need to show that your actual GST turnover has declined in the December 2020 quarter, comparable to the December 2019 quarter as well. So there is another test that needs to be completed, so just be mindful of that, and obviously follow the requirements to get that underway. The other change that will happen is that the payments are going to be reduced slightly as well. So the tier 1 payment will be $1,000 per fortnight gross, and the tier 2 payment will be $650 per fortnight gross. So there are a few things that you need to be mindful of, so I'll just hand that over to Kylie.
So just to be mindful that if you were not eligible for the October to December period, you can do the test and you may be eligible for the January to March period. Now, if you are eligible, you do have to the 31st of January to enroll in that JobKeeper quarter, and you also have till the 31st of January to make payments for the new JobKeeper. So just because you weren't eligible for the December quarter doesn't mean you're not eligible for the March quarter, it's just going to depend on the test. Now, if you are eligible for this January to March quarter, you do need to let your employees know in written form which tier that they're going to be on, whether that's tier 1 or tier 2. Also, lastly, for the December period, so if you're receiving JobKeeper for this October to December period, for December there's 3 fortnights, fortnight 18, 19 and 20. The ATO has been kind enough to allow businesses for an extension, so you don't have to lodge that by the 14th of January. You do have till the 28th to lodge that monthly business declaration.
Mm-hmm. So just on that as well, there's a few other terms or areas that you need to be aware of in regards to JobKeeper enabling directives. So there are 2 situations that may apply to you. The first is if you, as an employer, are still in receipt and will continue to be in receipt of JobKeeper payments through to the 28th of March, you can utilise JobKeeper enabling directives under the Fair Work Act. If you are no longer in receipt of JobKeeper payments as an employer or passing that on to your employees, you may be considered a legacy employer if you meet the downturn or the decline in turnover test. So if you do, I think it's about 10%, if you do meet that turnover test, you can still utilise or access some of the JobKeeper enabling directives under the Fair Work Act, but there are a few things that need to be considered for that. So if you do fall into that second category, you can always give us a call and we can help you out with any of the JobKeeper enabling directive questions. The other thing to be mindful of is if you do have any employees that are under the JobKeeper enabling directive and will continue to be under that directive for this next quarter, you do need to be mindful that those directives will expire automatically, or they will be cancelled automatically as of the 28th of March or the 29th of March. So the day after the last JobKeeper payment date falls due, that's where you will just need to be mindful that any of those agreements that you have in place or directives that you have in place, they will need to be reviewed from there. So if you have any questions, the ATO site is fantastic.
Amazing.
With lots of resources, or your bookkeeper or accountant will be able to help you with the actual practical side of lodgement through the portal. Otherwise, if you've got any JobKeeper enabling directive questions or HR questions, you can always give us a call as well. Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.